You can call that support. You can call that an uptrend if you want. Um, Now, I would be a little more concerned with this locomotive coming down the rails. Hey there. Welcome to your daily dose of elephant wisdom on Thursday, February 24th, 2022. Well, sad news, as we probably all know, with the Russian invasion of the eastern Ukraine provinces. It just kind of puts a damper on everything today. This is a crypto channel. We're going to look at the charts, but it just seems like, just makes me sad. Such a waste of life. Pretty senseless, really, in my opinion. But there we are. Obviously, the markets have reacted to the news in the way that markets do in high-stress wartime, financial stress times as well, conditions here. So it's taken a big dive. Good news for any positive thinkers out there is we have rebounded pretty nicely and are continuing to do so. This is Bitcoin on the daily chart here. And let's go ahead and take a look at the hourly. And we can sort of see how it responded a little bit more specifically. Yeah. There we go. So we can see about 12 hours ago, we kind of bottomed 11 hours ago. And kind of formed a base. Where was that? Kind of your 34.3-ish area. You can see our body base, which is sometimes a little bit more reliable, is 34.6-ish. And we do see, obviously, a little hourly uptrend here. We also see uptrends here. Volume got bought up at those levels. So people liked seeing that hold. And you can see at this point in time, when this flipped from red to blue, that means our buyers were outbidding the sellers, and we started the move up here in earnest. So you can see people waited to see that, waited to see if that was going to hold, if that has any solidity, and then they took a shot here. So far, so good. So, but overall, and I know we've been saying this, let's go back to our daily. It's kind of I keep saying it's a messy chart, but so overall, big picture wise, right, we're still in a pretty decent downtrend. So we're here coming off those highs. We did establish that low right around 33 here on the short term on the 24th of January. So that's sort of January 22nd, 23rd, 24th days. That's where you'll see lows on most coins. And now the question is that our bottom for our sort of near term? And we don't know. If you do want to look at some positives, obviously our bottom here, right, is lower than it got today. So we can say, hey, that's kind of a little uptrend, right? So that, that holds until it doesn't hold. So a lot of times you'll throw that on there. We could also throw kind of, and again, I like to sort of give you some general charting wisdom as well. You can see our bodies here kind of in this 2-day period here, the 22nd again through the 24th. We could throw a little line there as well. And that would signify, some support as well. And again, it's pretty short term and, hard to trust it. Again, the longer it lasts, the more you trust. But as of now, that's what we're looking at. But again, big picture, as we've said, we're below all of our indicators here. Let's move to our total. And here we'll see some interesting things as well. But as we've been warning about, like once we get below the white line for sure, and then every other indicator, this blue line is the 200-day simple moving average. That's a pretty good long-term, weather vane kind of gives you a little. You love it when you're above it, and when you're below it, it feels awful. So right now we feel pretty awful, right? We're pretty far below it. But again, we're rallying, and again, we can say the same thing here as we did on Bitcoin if we're very optimistic. That low today was higher than the low on the, on the total. That was 24th as well, January. So that is, you can call that an uptrend if you want. Now, I would be a little more concerned with this locomotive coming down the rails, because that is what we're fighting against. So right now, we're all knife catching. If you're doing anything right now, I would not be doing a whole lot in these markets. Low time frames going to be pretty iffy. You can see we're getting a little bit of a bounce here, but could be just a couple hour relief bounce here, and then down we go. So Bitcoin, as we mentioned, and we've talked about sort of levels earlier. Let me get a little bit of this stuff off. But 33, 35, we talked about having some support here. And that has held for this hour, this moment. So 35 here is what we're looking for. And then 33 is a little bit more support long-term as well. And then, of course, we have our June bottoms through the summer, June and July, where 30 was tested 6 different times. So it held on 6 occasions. Let's hope it doesn't have to test again. So we're hoping 35 holds. 33 would be our next level, and then 30 would be our next level. So that's kind of what we're sort of watching in the big picture. And, I know nobody wants to hear it, but, there's going to be a situation coming up soon where, these are going to be some really, really good buy opportunities. And, these are where you can really build your portfolio. It's tough to build your portfolio in all-time high situations, right? You're buying everything maximum value. You're getting less bang for your buck. Here, you're getting maximum value. You're getting them, a pretty good bang for your buck. And it might go lower here. I still expect it to. I do expect 33 to be tested again, minimally. And the alts will go down, harder than Bitcoin. So as you can see here, Bitcoin, we're down about 3%. Every other altcoin, right, we're down generally more than that, 7, 10. Our favorite Telcoin, I was looking at that earlier. Well, that's good little rally. Meaning when I was looking at it earlier, it was down in the 4s. And you can see I added yesterday. You can check my tweets if you'd like, but I did add these sort of next levels. Somebody asked me what are the next levels to look for. Telcoin, the 49.10 has shown some support, and then the 39.50. So you can see we pierced down into the 4s and, got up pretty quickly. We got bought up pretty quickly. And again, we call these bullish wicks because the bottom is the big wick. The top is our body. So these got bought up super fast. So that's trending in an upward direction. Of course, you confirm that. You can go lower time frames and you can see what we see. So you can see the last 4 hours, we're on the 1 hourly. We've got from the mid 4s pretty much. Nice little pop, so almost 20% up in the last 4 hours if you were able to buy this bottom. And again, that would be a tough buy. But, as I was saying earlier, these are portfolio building times. And when you buy and it ends up being a good buy in the future, it almost always feels bad. Meaning, you're buying at a time in a sea of red, everything is dropping, bad news all around you. It could go lower. It probably will go lower, but this is where you start deploying a little bit, 20% of, if you have 100 of something, right now, not a bad time to put 20 of them wherever you'd like. Generally, Bitcoin is your safest in a time like this, but some of these alts that are lower, when they do run, they're going to run hard. So you probably will get a little more value out of alts. But again, that's your risk tolerance. Bitcoin would be, quote unquote, the safer of the two alternatives, but you might get more value. But it depends on your time frame and what you're looking for. No need to look at a lot of things. We'll look at the sandbox since we have been talking about that a decent amount. Oh, we're back on the hourly, but we'll just start here then. And you can see basically everything was doing the same as of about 4 hours ago, which is, kind of early East Coast time, United States time. It's pre-business, but it's, people are up and at 'em at that point. That's where buying has started. So the USA East Coast woke up liking these levels. All right. So again, overall, it wasn't surprising. Obviously, this, the invasion wasn't totally shocking. And then even without any macro news, right, we've been just talking indicator-wise. Everything is well below these indicators. One thing I did want to mention with Ethereum is we drew our... All right, let me pop out here a little bit more. We had some support drawn from back in May, yeah, and that actually held, and you can sort of see how that did bounce off right here, our support. So as of now, this line, again, it gets stronger the more it's tested. The more it's tested, obviously, the more chance it has to go lower as well, but it does show some validity here. And again, we see the confluence of indicators, the convergence coming. This is going to push up here. Convergence is coming down here. So as I've said, in almost all of my videos here, I think the end of this month, which I know is pretty much here, and then the beginning of March, that kind of that 2-week period, that's where I think we might find some lows. I think we go lower, but I do think we rebound hard in March and April. But again, crazy world news, you just, you can't predict too much right here. But that's just my general feeling looking at everything as it stands right now. I will update. Pretty active on Twitter, so follow there, of course. And thanks for listening and tuning in. And please share and like. And we would love to hear any ideas you have for us as well. So this is Mark signing off.